お嬢様。
Hello, my lords and ladies, Joe here, and today I thought I'd do a little unscripted reaction to Final Fantasy XIV Starter Guide Series. Well, the reason I wanted to do this was because I have not only made my own videos about tips to help new players, and for that video, I actually looked at a lot of community videos about this, so I kind of have a broad perspective of what generally most people think about when giving tips for new characters. But also, I have completed 2.0 4 times, and each one with a new character, so I know a bit about creating new characters. So let's just see if this is actually any good, if they kind of put any tips that I would put in, or if they kind of don't put in things that I think they should. Let's just see what this is all about.
Let's recruit him, shall we?
Oh! All right, thanks for the invite, Mayra.
Hi there, Kaz. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Yeah.
Okay, probably one thing they should have done is probably told you how to recruit a friend. Like, where do you find that? I mean, you probably could find it easy enough, but knowing Square Enix, like, everything online is a lot harder than it needs to be. But let's just go on.
Yes! I keep hearing about it and I had to try it for myself. You're the pro, though, so, you know, what am I getting into?
You've come to the right scholar. Let me show you. Whoa. Final Fantasy XIV Online is the critically acclaimed online RPG.
Ooh, they said the
where
thing.
You embark on the journey of a lifetime and reforge the fate of Eorzea. Though
Right,
it is
but
the
that's not the
14th entry in the Final Fantasy series, it has a self-contained story with its unique universe and lore. So if this is your first Final Fantasy, welcome. This is the perfect place to start. The best part is, it's constantly expanding. So whether you're playing...
You know, as a guy who grew up with, like, Final Fantasy VII, I played Final Fantasy VII, 8, I played a bit of 9, 10, I played 11, God help me, 12. That's kind of when I stopped playing Final Fantasy series regularly. You don't really think about the perspective like, oh, Final Fantasy 14? Well, that's like 14. I need to play like 1 through 13 to understand it. That's actually a good thing to clear up. I never really thought of that. Each Final Fantasy is its own standalone series, and while there are interlying themes like, you know, Big and Wedge, and Chocobos and Moogles, and the summons, or as they're called in Final Fantasy, the primals, like you really don't need to know anything about that.
Good choice.
Well, that's it. I guess that's why it's episode 0. All right, let's move on. Let's keep this train going to episode 1. The adventure begins. Let's see what this is about. Character issues in the map.
Okay. Oh, love those ears.
Oh, a Makote, huh?
You bet. Now to
Basic
take my class.
bitch Makote.
I love the look of the gladiator. It's just a shame I'll never learn how to be an archer.
Well, that's the beauty of Final Fantasy XIV Online. Your character can actually play every class in the game. Classes are split into 3 roles.
Okay, I might eat my words here, but it's like, oh, I'm worried that I will never learn how to play Archer. And she's like, oh, don't worry, you can play that. It's like, but not really. Nobody plays Archer because everybody plays Bard. I wonder if they're going to talk about that, because these starting classes are very misleading. I say this in my video about picking a class, that this is done terribly in character creation, because, you know, it's like, oh, I get to play a sellsword. Yeah, well, that sellsword turns into a knight paladin. You know, it's kind of a shocker. You know, Bard starts out as archer. You know, pugilist is like, you know, oh, a brawler, but then you get like, you know, monk, which is more, you know, spiritual aspect of a fighter.
And you'll even have the option to change your appearance later in the game. So don't worry too much and just create a character that you like.
Okay, if you're new and you happen upon this video, that was extremely misleading. You can just change your appearance later. You get to change your appearance once later for free. After that, you become a Fantasia addict, and you have to purchase Fantasia off of the store with real money. So you might want to not be so haphazard about making your character. You should actually put some real thought into it, and maybe later you get one more choice And because it's so profitable, Square Enix is never, ever going to make changing your race, changing your physical appearance free, ever. It's not going to happen. It's way too profitable. Now, things you can change for like in-game currency, you can change your hairstyle. You can change your facial features, which include scars and facial hair. Very limited, though. And you can give yourself like a face paint and face tattoo. You can't even change your skin color, which really kind of sucks because, it's like, hey, maybe I got a tan,
Yeah, no big
I
deal.
picked
Got
Ul'dah.
12 XP.
This is the correct choice. You want to start an Ul'dah if you have to. If you don't care, pick Ul'dah. That's the real choice.
Fewer random enemies, more main scenario quests or MSQs. These are the quests you follow to experience the main story. By completing them, you'll earn some fantastic rewards and level up much faster. You'll also have the option to
That's good
follow
advice.
loads of side quests. These won't impact your main story, but they will help you explore the world and earn gil, experience, and other rewards.
Oh, I'd love to check out my first MSQ.
Great! Then let's get you to the Adventurers Guild.
MSQ, earn great XP. Got it. Max level, here I come.
The map.
Oh, follow the map. That thing is pretty useful.
Okay, not too bad. It's a little weird coming from a video game background. Things like the minimap, they kind of are like intuitive for players like me, I guess. I never would think like, oh yeah, make sure to look at that minimap. They're trying to get everybody, I guess. Like, you've never played a video game before, let alone a Final Fantasy, let alone an MMO. They're really trying to cast the wide net. It's a good idea, I guess. Let's move on to episode 2, Meet Your Fate.
If you want to become a master of different classes, you're welcome to join up and see what each has to offer. For now, let's take a look at your Gladiator class quest. If you're not sure what to do, you can always reference your main scenario guide. Whenever you're able to undertake a new class quest.
Wait, I was thinking about something. Wait, 1 second. You have the Marauder symbol. What's this symbol right here? 2 guns next to each other? Was this supposed to be another class that we never got? Interesting. Like, because, you do see in Limsa, pirates have guns, especially if you use, like, the rogue quest. Like, there's a little yellow jacket Balafel that has a gun. Merothweb, she, if I'm saying that right, she uses guns as well. So maybe this was supposed to be a guild for more than just marauders. Or is this the symbol of the yellow jackets? I don't think so. There are some yellow jackets here. That's interesting. Let's continue.
Now, let's take a look at your Gladiator class quest. If you're not sure what to do, you can always reference your main scenario guide. Whenever you're able to undertake a new class quest, they will show up here under your next MSQ, so be sure to keep an eye out. Let's see what's next.
Okay, if you're new, I'm going to emphasize this. Do them immediately. You get abilities, you get some gear sometimes, but really the abilities are what really matter. If you go into a level, let's say 47 dungeon, and you're still have only done like your level 30 job quest, you're not going to have a great time because you don't have every ability that you could have.
Next.
Oh, right, the Gladiators Guild. Now these are my kind of fighters.
Looks like Mila wants to test you. Ready to slay some monsters?
How bad is it that I feel like the Gladiators storyline, while not good, is still better than the Paladin storyline that I've done. Like, Paladin storylines, I'm not going to spoil too much, but it's basically everything's a misunderstanding all the time.
You did it! Now we can go back to Mila to complete your quest.
Oh, what's going on here?
Oh, that player's participating in a full active time event.
Oh, okay. So what is that?
Full active time events, or fates, are dynamic battles that appear around Eorzea.
Full active time events? I always thought it was just like, oh, you happen upon this area at this time. It was your fate to participate in it. It's actually an acronym. Well, I've learned something new 10 out of 10 series. Let's go.
Yeah. They can be boss battles, escort missions, or other events, and help you earn some great rewards. So if you want to join, simply enter the fate radius on your map.
To battle! Let's do this.
You have 1 HP now.
Ooh, better sync my level so I can help him out. Nice! You got a gold medal for your contribution and earned a lot of experience. Pretty good for your first time.
Okay, again, I'm doing this mostly in case of new players happen across this, because veterans, they're not going to care either which way about what this video has to say. But those battle poses and everything, yeah, you do get to do that. You don't get to do that until like level 60. So if you're like wondering why can't my character do that, you can. Just not at the level they're pretending he can do it at. Also, I have to critique this healer a little bit. I mean, granted, he just jumped off of long fall, so he probably had very little health, so it probably was a good idea to heal him. But if you're a healer, you're going to mostly be doing DPS. I know that sounds weird, but healers DPS, and they do a little bit of healing, depending on how difficult the fight is. But usually they're expected to contribute to damage. And she was just healing away and not attacking the mob at all. It's like, could you please help? Actually help. Let's continue.
You'll come across loads of fates as you progress through your MSQs in the open world. So keep a lookout for other exciting challenges.
Oh, another one! Let's go!
Wait, that one's level 20! Oh, yikes. I'll just go ahead and get a resurrection ready.
I regret this.
So, kind of good advice, like don't go to fates that are too high level for you. But boy, she'd even try to help. I'll just resurrect you. Know what I mean? Gotta learn. Now that's a real healer. Let the player die to teach them a lesson. Now you're thinking like a healer.
He's still wearing that thing?
What does she mean by that? Still wearing that thing? Is she talking about his base gear? It's like, okay, glamour is a thing. You can't tell anybody by what they're wearing if they're high level or not. Like, that actually reminds me, I went into a dungeon today, and this healer expected me to know that he was under-equipped because he was wearing, he looked like he was just wearing regular robes. I'm not going to judge you if you want to wear like 2.0 base leveling stuff. Like maybe you just like that aesthetic. But it was after we did a big pull and we died. I examined him and I realized like, oh, you're wearing level 36 gear in this level 47 dungeon. And he's like, yeah, of course I am. I'm new. It's like, okay, you should always say you're new at the beginning of a dungeon. This is a tip I give. Say you're new. Say it's your first time. Say if you're under-equipped. Say if you want small pulls. I ran into that again. I pulled wall to wall and the healer got angry at me, comparing me to Leroy Jenkins. It's like, this is the way people expect me to pull. If you don't want big pulls, you gotta say so in the beginning, because wall to wall is the expectation. I will ask if I see that somebody is new. And if you go into a dungeon, they'll say if someone hasn't completed it before. That's when I go, okay, do you want big pulls, small pulls? What do you want? But if it wasn't there, if it's not your first time in that dungeon and you aren't properly equipped for it, like, please say so in the beginning. Just say, hey guys, I've got low gear. I really would appreciate it if we just kind of went easy. And I'd be happy to do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to do it like I normally would, which is pick everybody up, go until I can't go anymore, mitigate AoE, mitigate AoE. All right, let's continue.
Thanks. Just taking a nap.
Let's check your inventory.
Hey!
First things first, let's get you organized. Just click an item, select sort, and voila, nice and tidy.
Whoa, wait! I have a bird?
You've got a wayward hatchling minion. Just select him and you can have a chocobo chick of your very own to accompany you.
Sweet! I'm gonna name him Harold. How does that sound, Harold?
You seem like a good team.
You can't actually name your
Let's
minions.
bring up your character menu and take a look at the gear in your armory chest. If you're not sure what to equip, click recommended gear to automatically equip your best items.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Recommended gear and... Oh, wow.
Yeah, not ideal. Here, I've got a better idea.
Let's see.
If you're leveling, don't let anybody freaking shame you for wearing weird stuff. Not ideal. You literally press the ideal equipment button. It is ideal. Just because you don't look so cool, it's like, whatever, you're leveling. Don't worry about how you look until you get to like at least level 50. Like, that's when you can start like really kind of piecing things together. I would not waste anything on glamour unless you find something that's like, oh, I want to wear this. Then you can start glamoring. Are they even going to go over glamour? I doubt it.
Yeah, you could beat this outfit, but okay.
Let's find better gear, and while we're at it, teach you how to win.
I'm a level 15. I think I know a thing or two about winning.
Then that's the perfect level to begin the Hall of the Novice.
Hall of Novice.
Welcome to the Hall of the Novice. Here you can learn the ropes for your class and earn some awesome gear. You can find a Hall of the Novice NPC.
I was a little worried that they were like, you don't have to physically travel to the actual location of the Hall of Novice. You see these little sprout icons, that's where to go. Okay, good job. This is actually really good advice.
Located in the Adventurers Guild for your starting city. Just look for the green and gold sapling symbol above their head after you reach level 15. There are unique challenges and rewards in the Hall of the Novice for all three roles: tank, DPS, and healer. So if you change classes later, don't forget to come back for some training.
Yep, good advice.
You ready to give one a
Good
shot?
advice.
Cue the music. All right, let's see what this is all
He's
about.
squatting all these emotes that you can't do.
Seriously? One enemy?
You can do, but not at this point.
Oh, I get it. Avoid those.
There you go. Just remember what you've learned.
This is for you, Harold!
I never realized that part was actually outside of the Hall of Novice. Like, you're actually doing it right outside of it. I never realized that.
Now you look more like a warrior of light.
Yeah.
There's
Except
still
for
a
his
lot
eye
to learn
patch
and
now.
discover, and we've got a ways to go.
His eye patch should still be on, unless he toggled the the headgear mode. Also, you don't get a shield for completing the tank. You get everything from the neck down except a weapon. And you get a ring. They didn't mention the ring. The ring is the most important part. That helps. That not only is it just a really good low level ring for any class, but it helps you level to level 30 like much better. You get I believe a 30% increase. That's the real reward of doing it. Well, also this gear is really good because then you don't have to worry about, like, I think for your first 3 dungeons you don't have to worry about any gear except trying to get a headgear and a weapon.
To get you there. We'll need 4 adventurers.
But look, I'm a lone wolf, all right? I fly solo.
Well, you're in luck, Mr. whoever you are, Mikote, because now you can do them all solo. Is that what they're going to say? It's like, well, you can go with a party or you can go solo. So let's see.
Trust me, learning to be a team player in Final Fantasy XIV will be well worth it. Just use the Duty Finder to begin automatically searching for a party. Select Duty here, then Duty Finder.
I guess if you have to promote one, you should promote the group because this is an MMO, but it's just a little weird that they wouldn't mention the solo way of doing things.
Each ready to be explored by a hotshot party of adventurers. You can use your Duty Finder to play with your friends, or to form a party with available players, like we are now. Or try the Duty Support System to play with a group of NPCs. Each party member brings important skills from their role. There are damage dealing, or DPS classes, who take down enemies as quickly as possible. There are tanks like you, who are built to take as much damage as you throw at them, while keeping enemies away from their party. And
Whoa. Wait a minute. Keep the enemies away from the party? Okay, if you're new, your job as a tank is not to keep the enemies away from the party, especially because a good chance of your party is going to have some melee DPS in it. You stay still pretty much, and unless you have to get out of an AoE or something. Your job as a tank is to hold all the hate and point them in a general direction that's away from the party. Don't keep the mob away from your party. Do not kite. You want them staying still. You want your DPS wants that thing staying still. Your healer wants you staying still. They want you keeping within range. So after you get everything that you want to get, plant yourself, only move when absolutely necessary.
The healers, who support the party by keeping everyone alive and kicking. Time to shine.
All right.
All right, Cash, show them how it's done.
You sure about this?
You've got it. Provoke it to draw its attention away from us.
You pulled with a provoke? Good God, don't do that. I cringe so hard when I see tanks pulling with provoke. You have a ranged attack. Just use that. It's a high enmity attack. No one's going to get off of you. Provoke has a cooldown, a much longer cooldown than your range attack. You don't want to be using it all the time. It's more of a, oh my God, I got to get this thing off. It's an emergency button kind of thing. I got to get this thing off of that person ASAP. Provoke. Don't pull with it. That's bad advice.
Okay, you got it!
Any loot found in treasure coffers will be added to the loot list on the bottom right. Each character will roll either a need, greed, or pass, and the loot will be distributed automatically to the player who rolls the highest number. If the loot's designated for your class, you can roll need. Greed can be rolled if the loot isn't designated for your class, but you want a chance to receive it anyway. Or you can pass if you don't want the item.
Here are my rules for need. If you're new, here's my unwritten rules for need. Need if you need it. Greed if you're going to greed it. What do I mean by that? Need falls under two categories, basically. You get a stat increase, so you're going to use it, or it's something you want to add to your glamour repertoire, so you're going to use it. Greed, if you plan on desynthesizing it, if you plan on turning it in for company seals, you greed it.
Let's see what your party's earned.
Cool.
Whoa, you're in luck. Since the loot's designated for your class, you can roll need to claim them. Looks like someone isn't such a lone wolf after all.
They didn't talk about item comparison. Like, of course, this is Tasha, and he's level 15. He's going to need that sword. That sword's definitely going to be an upgrade for him. But it's like, if you're curious if you're going to want to use it or not, you can right-click it and then compare it to the item you have. And if there's green, then you need. If it's red, then you don't need to need it. You should probably just greet it.
Turns out life is a lot easier when you're part of a pack. Up top, Harold!
All right, let's continue. Episode 5.
We didn't notice it last time, but now we're ready. Once the limit break gauge is filled, it's the perfect time for our melee DPS, the Ninja, to use their LB and take the boss down with an ultimate attack.
That's a pretty good tip. It's a pretty good tip, but I think they don't want to be mean about things. They basically are telling you, limit break is reserved for melee DPS in most circumstances. That's actually good advice.
Grand companies are a great way to further customize your character. Unlocking unique gear, special items, and even the ability to ride mounts.
Yeah, okay. They basically said it. It's actually pretty decent advice. Your grand company, basically what you should do when you're choosing your grand company is you can go with aesthetic, but it's like, that's so unimportant, really. What's really important is the gear that you can get from them. So you should go to like one of either Aurora's database or GameScape and check out what gear you can get for each grand company. They all have unique weapons. They've got unique armor. And you should pick one that you think, oh, maybe I want to use that. And if you don't care, Like, you look through it all and it's like, oh, no, this really appeals to me. Then you should just go on, like, what you feel is the best aesthetic. But, like, let's look here. Like, where's the...
Grand companies are a great way to
unique.
further customize your character.
See, a lot of people like this jacket. So that's probably why Maelstrom is probably the most well-picked. People also like just pirates and stuff. But yeah, you can only wear this jacket if you are part of the Maelstrom. And even if you switch out, like, oh, you can switch your Grand Company, by the way. It just, it's a little inconvenient, but not very. I don't want to get into it. But if you switch out, you won't be able to wear it. You can only wear this if you are currently part of the Maelstrom. All right, let's continue.
Unlocking unique gear, special items, and even the ability to ride mounts. On that note, you might want to check out that special quest.
So they're like, oh, check out that special quest. See that blue icon? Here's a tip. This is a tip I give. You'd see a blue quest, you do it. Do every single blue quest. Just don't worry about it. I mean, you can look at, Zeppela has a guide about which blue quests are like kind of better to do. But if you don't want to worry about it, just do every one.
Chocobo mount, here I come.
I've never been more proud. And look, your first mount.
Yep, meet Gerald. He's Harold's new big brother.
You
Say hi,
can
Gerald.
name your Chocobo. See,
Whoa,
that's not false
backsuit
advertising.
Harold!
That is something you can name.
So, what's living in an egg like?
The end of the beginning. Let's check it out.
My little tank has hit level 30 and already unlocked his first job? Come on, Maverick, don't cry.
It's almost toxic in how untoxic it is. Because she says, oh, you're level 30 and you unlocked your first job. Should be, you're level 30, now unlock your job. Stop everything you're doing, unlock your job. Do not go past level 30 without unlocking your job.
You promised.
I couldn't have done it without you.
Well, it only gets better from here.
It only gets better, guys. That's something you'll hear. If you're new and you're starting out, they're like, oh, you're playing Black Mage. Use the Pints example. You play Black Mage, oh, it only gets better. It only gets better. And it does. It only gets better. So, stick with it. It only gets better from here. It's true.
Here coming. Oh, and you haven't even seen much of the world yet, like or and then you get to join the of the and fight the old and La. And the story, the lore. I don't want to spoil it for
Somebody's
you.
been spending too much time in Belmont, if you catch my meaning.
Yes, please. Okay, just one quick ride. I'll be right back, you two.
Okay, so overall, it's not too bad. There's a few things that I would probably either emphasize more of or not word exactly, but I guess you kind of get the point. If you want some more tips for beginners, I would recommend, of course, watching my video. And in my video, I actually, in the description, link a bunch of other videos that you might want to check out as well. So overall, it's all right. It's got to be as inoffensive as possible. Besides that spoiler talk. That's a little much. That got me a little flustered there. Anyway, I would say it's okay. It's all right. If you have any questions, if you're new, write a comment. What did you think about the series? Did you think it was more hurtful than helpful? I don't know. You just write a comment below, like and sub, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the world of tomorrow.